made sure the fireys aren't blasting the safety alarms. Is that what you call them? Sirens?
Oh, safety alarms?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming you're cutting this bit.
Not this time. All right, mate. Good to have you back. It's been a little while. It feels like it's been ages, actually, because we're recording on a bloody Tuesday. But lot of cool stuff must have been happening then in the past week and a half, surely.
Yeah, been busy. Been really busy, actually. I feel like I'm a new man. I'm just so energized. Post-lockdown life.
Really?
Just don't say no to anything. Yeah, well, I had a mate's wedding who is an avid listener of the show, actually. Big Dan. To shout out to him and the new Mrs. Dan.
Shout out Big Dan and the new Mrs.
Yeah, I was a groomsman, which was exciting. And I got up to...
First time? No, you've done that for your brother.
Yeah, I did my brother as well. And I got up there for just for a couple of beers, 2 days before the wedding. So I stayed with the happy couple. And I remember my mate... So, he usually goes home from my place in a body bag. And he definitely learnt some lessons in the hangover episode, thankfully. But we were just talking at the table, and I had a whiskey, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so tomorrow night we'll all be at the groomsman house. They got an Airbnb, and he's like, we'll have some whiskey and cigars." And the death stare I got from his wife, who just looked at me like I was the enemy, and I was like, "I didn't even say it." I'm
you will ruin this wedding.
Yeah, I was like, if there's one opportunity to ruin this wedding, it's Dan drinking with Hayden the night before.
Oh, that is so dangerous.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't do anything. But you know what I did? I went back to the hangover steps, and I really kind of focused on it. I set an alarm every hour to make sure that the groom was drinking water. And every time...
Whoa, that's my tip.
Yeah, and every time we made him do a shot, I made him drink water as well. And
okay, that's not quite as responsible.
No, but you'll love this. He told me, I was like, "Man, you woke up well, after the wedding." And he's like, Yeah, do you know what I did? And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I did a tacky before we went to bed." I was like, "Oh man, Dad will love that."
Legend. Oh yeah. Mate, that's so many different steps in the road guide have basically been essentially that. So I gotta say, hats off. Big fan of the show. Big fan of his work as well, actually. Now.
Yeah. So we set up love. We didn't ruin the wedding. And the road guide, I would nearly go as far to say that we saved the wedding.
Whoa. That's pretty hard. That's pretty hectic.
Hey, if I was invited, there was a lot of chance that it could have been ruined.
Yeah, right. So you saved it because you didn't stuff it up because you'd been invited, which risks the wedding.
Exactly.
We should do a road guide to weddings because I feel like there's some finer details in the groom's parties and the night befores and the day ofs and stuff. I've been to two weddings, so I can't say I'm an expert, but I haven't really been an expert in many of these topics. And do you know what, though? Do you know what I've been finding? And it's something that people that follow me on Instagram, shout out Daniel Stewart on Instagram, might have noticed.
Self-promotion.
Recently, I've been a cat person my whole life. I had
but not just a normal
run-in
cat
with
person.
dogs.
Like a we'll tell you about cats kind of cat person.
Oh, I love cats. I seriously love cats. And I follow pages of chunky cats and all kinds of stuff. Well, I used to. I don't anymore. But that's not because of what I'm about to say. But long story short, I've never been a big fan of dogs. I think they stink. I think they poo everywhere. They don't poo in the box like they're supposed to. They don't pee in the box like they're supposed to. They bark, which is loud and annoying. They jump up on you. They lick you, and they've got bad breath. A lot of reasons not to like dogs. And also, when I was younger, I was exposed to a dog attack, and I was like, these things are ruthless, Yeah. That kind of definitely scarred me a bit. Anyway, I've grown to have a soft spot in years prior to border collies. Not much a fan of any other dog, but I am a fan of border collies. Kelpies get a free pass from me as well. The working dog vibe, I think they're adorable. Needless to say, if you've been following me on Instagram recently, you might be seeing a lot of dog spam, puppy spam even. I'm obsessed with this puppy. Puppy Paul, the border collie, he is absolutely the sweetest, nicest, funniest, cutest, and funnest young man I've ever met. He's a joy. He makes me laugh. I love him, and he goes outside with us. We can take him places. He plays with other dogs. It's interesting to see the interaction. I might just be a dog person. I'm not ready to say I am, but I might just be a dog person after actually being one of those really disgusting people that says, I don't like dogs, keep it away from me. Oh, keep that stinky thing away from me. I might actually be a dog person.
Well, funny you say that because I've had a bit of, people have actually brought this up to me, a couple of listeners, and I've mentioned that they're like, Dan, this is a guy that prides himself on being a cat person, and his Instagram is full of dog stuff. And they felt a bit robbed. So I'm glad that you've come out before because I had it set to come at you. I was coming at you hard today.
Hang on, are my fellow cat people like off me,
mate? I don't think there is such thing as fellow cat people, but the dog people are calling you out now that you've jumped ship and joined them.
Oh, really? So what, I'm not welcome with the dog people? Is that what they're trying to say? I thought dog people were nice.
No,
I thought dog people
were
supposed to be.
They just wanted you to admit it. And I think the fact that you've come out and admitted it before that we called you out on it, I think you've dodged.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm off dogs. If dog people are like this and they're going to try and catch me out and have gotcha moments, I'm off them. I'm back to the cats.
Also,
at least we cat people, we have a mutual understanding that we don't deal with each other and we don't get along because that's what cats are like and we embody that energy.
Yeah. Well, I'm also a little bit more I don't know if I should touch the red flag with the dog named Paul. Like, come on.
Ah, yes. Not my choice, but I will say right here and right now, as it is my girlfriend's doggy, love it. Love it. He's cute. He's got that energy. He's Paul.
Yeah, he's Paul. Well, no, I was trying to think of a good segue there, but I don't have one.
Yeah, well, there could have been something about if you'd said otherwise, I would have been in the doghouse. But let's jump into today's topic: road guide to road trips. Now, Dos, how many road trips have you done? Are you a road tripper?
I literally couldn't tell you how many I've done. There's that many. As a kid, I've done the Nullarbor before I was 1 year old.
Oh,
it's a
sick.
5-day trip. And then
that's the road trip.
Yeah, I've done it 3 times in my time.
Whoa.
And
that's awesome. I didn't even know that, dude.
Yeah. Only one that I actually remember. It was one that I was old enough to remember.
Sense.
And loved it. I love a good road trip. Even now, I'm just like addicted to them as an old man. Like for me, it's meditation. A long road trip. I know it's weird, but I just love it. Getting my thoughts get deep. By the time I arrive at the destination, I'm that pumped up for life. I'm ready to dive into things.
True. Thinking about the biggest road trip you've ever been on, just so that we can have some credibility, because people are going to be taking our advice. As you know, you've seen it in action, people taking road guide steps and waking up fresh for weddings. So, who knows? Someone could be on a road trip. This could save lives. It could be the new driver revival, or the new if it's flooded, forget it. Could be this episode of the podcast. Yeah. Biggest road trip I've been on, it was something like, it's supposed to be 22 hours. How long is it from Geelong to the Sunshine Coast? I feel like it's 18 or 22 hours, something in that ballpark.
Yeah, I think it's 20, and with stoppage, it adds up to be like 21, 21 and a half.
Yeah, we did it in 18 hours. And I wouldn't necessarily advocate... Oh, can I say that, actually? I'm not sure. Actually, no one's listening. Cops aren't listening. We're chilling. Although the cops do drive past your place, as we've established in the previous episode.
They listen to me, but there's other reasons for that.
The phone is tapped, and people are going to know what I get up to. Anyway, we drove from Geelong to Doonan on the sunny coast in mighty, mighty Queensland for my mate, K Money. K Money, fan of the show? Has he listened to an episode? I'm not sure. K Money, I'm not calling you out. If you're listening, then I appreciate you, but don't think you're listening.
If he doesn't have time to enjoy a road trip and has to rush it, I don't think he has time to listen to one of the best podcasts going around in the 2021.
I disagree. We did rush it, but we enjoyed it. It was a straight shot. We did not stop. We alternated between maybe 2, 3, 4 times. Not much sleeping happened for me though, because I'm very sensitive to energy drinks and caffeine, and I was chugging. So when I was off shift, I was actually still awake, which is ill-advised, because towards the end, I'm telling you, it was pretty dicey. And I'm not trying to glorify fatigued driving, because fatigue is a huge killer. But I will say we made it, but I was definitely on the fatigued end of things. But proved my point for a step coming up. It was a huge trip and an absolute blur. Heard Glass Animals Season 2, Episode 4, or whatever the song is, for the first time on the back end on Triple J, and I absolutely love the song, and it takes me back to that road trip every time.
Yeah, you do need a core kind of song. But like, I guess on that, see, I have a different approach. I don't believe you should rush it like that, because I've done the same thing where I drove Gold Coast to Geelong, in one
wow.
day. And it was after schoolies too. Oh my God. So we
Whoa.
hung over, and we didn't leave until 5 p.m. So we had a whole day, went to the beach, we had a good time, and then we're like, all right, let's get in the car and go. And this was actually with Scott, episode 9.
Not
Scott,
just a fan of the show or friend of
just
the
a
show,
fan.
but a guest, a big caller.
Active guest. And I'd only met him that week. And I was like, stuff it, let's do it. Admittedly, he got me drunk to convince to him. And convinced, and I was like, all right, stuff it, let's do it. And so we just drove, swapped over, and then we reached a point where he was just dead, and it was my turn to drive, and I did 2 hours, and I was like, shit, I'm dead as well. And then I pulled over, and I was like, do you want to drive, Scott? And he's like, no, I'm done. So he's just sleeping, and I was like, well, I tried to sleep for a little bit, and then I couldn't sleep, so I was like, what am I gonna do? And we just need a truck stop, and this is like at probably 8 o'clock in the morning. And so I was like, stuff it. Like, I just got out of the car, just ran up and down the truck stop, did 10 push-ups, splashed some water in my face. And,
really?
Just jumped back in the car. And then I drove 30 minutes just to the next truck stop, pulled over, did the same thing again. And I did that about 4 or 5 times. So I got another 2 or 3 hours down the road. And by the time I did that, I pulled over for the last one, and I was like, yeah, that's me. I think I'm done now. And I look over and Scott's like, yeah, I think I got a bit in me. And perfectly, got us home. So, and there was no point where I felt like we were too fatigued to be driving. It was always like just making sure to pull over. Because realistically, 5 minutes to just jump over across the street and just go for a little run, splash some water. And it's good to keep active. You'll be burning them calories. When you're driving, you're not burning calories.
Hey, you're giving up too much of the gold here, mate. You're giving a bit too much of the gold in the front end. We should
we had to show that we had evidence for the steps. And we can talk about this.
We do. We do. That's just a taste of steps to come. Let's jump into the steps here, Dos. Step number 1, how do you do a whopping and awesome, memorable road trip?
You got to rally a crew. It's all about the squad. Yeah. Like, if you don't want it to feel like a road trip, well, you do want it to feel like a road trip, but if you don't want it to feel like a long time, then you want a good crew with you. You want people to be able, you can have a laugh with. I think the ideal number is 3, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
I think 4
someone
is
in
good.
the back seat chirping.
Yeah. You need somebody in the back either chirping or sleeping, and then the passenger is awake and the driver is half awake, half asleep. Nah, the driver's awake. And they're throwing chat, banter, listening to tunes, snacking and doing the deed, while the person in the back is the one resting and restarting. And I think 4 is good, but I don't think I've done many with 4. It just never really kind of works out.
Yeah, I've done the odd one with 4. I've travelled from Longreach to Birdsville for a run, but I found that the people in the back, they do gravitate often to being a bit antisocial because they can't really get in on the good chat in the front. But that might just be different groups. It was with 3 people I'd never met before, and we were all strangers to each other. But anyway, that's kind of maybe wasn't. It was a great crew, but it was a little bit unusual. Good one, rallying a crew, always good, always good. Now step 2.
Did you just agree to my step?
Oh yeah, man. I'm not. No, I can't solo operate. I can't because once you get tired, that's it. It's a wrap.
Oh, we
you
know
want to be able
that
to swap
with
with someone.
Yeah, your efforts in trying to carry the podcast. It's not your best route.
No one's laughing, mate. No one's laughing. Step 2, mate. You want to be preparation. You got to put some hard yards in. As much as you might, it might be on a wing and a prayer. You want to make sure you've got the foundations in place. And I feel like you got to have good serving of reserves in the snack department. You might be stopping at certain places along the way, but there's nothing like the sound of the cracking open of a bag of chips, or the tearing open of a bag of chips, or maybe the smell of some chocolate getting around. It just sort of gives you little boosts along the way so you can keep sort of charging along the road trip. And playlist as well. And it's a tricky one because, of course, you'd spend the first, 7 hours binge listening to the Road Guide episode so far, naturally. But that's so only 7 hours of entertainment.
He's playing for after the first 7 hours. Yep.
Exactly. So we've got you covered for 7 hours. That's pretty good. That gets you a fair
decent.
way. And at that point you could probably listen back through, try and listen to some Easter eggs. We've got Easter eggs in all the episodes. don't you know? So go back in and listen for the Easter eggs, little references you'll get. But, then apart from that, you want to have your songs lined up, and there have to be some bangers. You think every now and then you want to have the songs that you'll want to sing along to and belt out. Can't always be like that, though, because that's pretty exhausting, and it also gets a bit tiresome when you just want to chat or you want to do something else. And then maybe some pods as well, some other pods, some alternate pods, because believe it or not, we're not the only pod out there. We are the only pod worth listening to, but there's other ones that definitely you probably could check out as well.
I don't know if I'm a fan. I don't know if I'm a fan of other pods. I think there's only really one that you can learn everything
You're right.
that you need.
You're right. You've got 7 hours of this pod. That's probably enough pods for one trip.
Yeah, that's definitely enough. I do have an issue with the songs. I know it's tough because there's the debate of because the driver's driving, is it their choice of songs, but they're not the ones that can swap the song. So it's is that, I know it's the passenger's responsibility. What if they're playing shit songs and the driver hates it?
Yeah, it's the driver's choice. I 100% agree with that because I 100% believe that it's the driver's choice, and the passenger, the shotgun sitter, they're just the muppet that kind of makes the songs happen. It's, you don't want to be listening to someone else's music while you're driving. It's tiresome. You want to have your own tunes. You want to get your heartbeat going. Maybe you're singing along to yourself, all that kind of stuff. I 100% believe it's the driver's choice. Even if the driver has somewhat questionable choices, it's your turn. You can just say, hey, mate, move off. Get some sleep. I'm going to take over driving now so I can listen to some good music. It's kind of a good way to keep the rotation going.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I might have set myself up for a story here. So I was driving a road trip up to Byron Bay with two of my mates, and they both kind of fell asleep, and I was just driving, and my tunes were playing. Ooh. And I know firstly, they're already in the bad books. And so I was driving.
You're just bitter, grumbling the whole way.
Yeah. And one of them wakes up, and I said they both kind of wake up, and he's like I just listen to my music. He's like, man, I just feel like I'm just gonna wake up while you're listening to these tunes, and all of a sudden the car is going to be going straight for a tree. And I was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? He's like, they're so depressing. I was like, what? What's this song? And I look at the song, and the song is Fuck I'm Lonely by Anne Marie. Cool. I was like,
you're right.
Oh, shit, you got a point.
That's a red flag. Mate, that must have been a really depressing song because, mate, I remember at New Year's Eve last year, you were on the boat trying to get queue up bangers on the boat, and you were playing some of the saddest music I've ever heard. I'm like, this is it was really sad stuff, and you were belting it out like it was fun, but everyone was kind of like, damn, you good? You good, man? You're right,
good, bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I do get that a bit. I just like emotional songs that make me feel things that alcohol doesn't.
Well, if you're driving,
feel.
It's your call, mate. If you're driving, it's your call. Drive into that tree.
Let me drive the boat. I was ready to drive that boat as well. Yeah. Well, I guess one way, I have a secret way. Step 3 I'm going with here. Obviously, the first drive is usually the toughest. Because usually on a road trip, it's pretty early in the morning. Because you like to get on the road. I try sneak an hour in before the sun comes up. So you're really kind of rolling.
Yep. And not out back because you run into kangaroos, but keep going.
Yeah, that's the run of the risk. And but you make sure that you're the drunkest the night before. If you're the drunkest, then you won't be driving first. So you can dodge that bullet. And if they see, obviously, because on a road trip, you have plenty of stops. You might be staying in Sydney, heading up to Byron Bay the next day. Let's say that. And you go out in Sydney. Then you want to make sure you go out the hardest, and then you get away with the first drive. You get the back seat for the first 3 hours, and before you have a swap.
And also, you're sleeping at the most natural part of the day as well. Because say you get woken up to get in the car, you're still sort of riding that drowsiness. You can just wake up, get in the car, sleep straight away.
Yeah. Mind you, you have to. If you are the drunkest, make sure you roll into the shower before you jump into the car because you usually stink of alcohol, and if they pull the driver over, there might be a chance that because of you, they blow over. I've actually heard of that happen.
Yeah, right.
I had friends that, somebody blew over because the others were so drunk that it just...
Damn, I had someone blow over because they ate a breath mint. It was pretty hectic.
Oh, I've heard of that. I had another mate blow over because he was drinking a bottle of scotch. And I was like...
Yeah, that checks out, actually. That last one actually makes sense, I think.
Yeah, I shouldn't have went to court and tried to argue against that. I think
I'll represent you, mate. You're a good bloke.
You're good, bro. We got this.
Step 4. This plays into something I was talking about before, and actually some good tips from you that reminded me of some tips that I know. But it all falls under, you can do it in one go. You can do it. You just have to, no matter how far it is, you can do it. If you've got even 2 people, you can rotate 2 people. No distance is too far. Solo, let me retract that statement, because as much as some of our truckie fans that are listening, shout out to the truckies, big listeners, always in the DMs, they know secret ways to do solo long road trips that we can't necessarily talk about on the pod at this point. And considering all the incriminating shit we've already said prior to this moment. But you can do it. With 2 people, you can go as far as you want. You can do the Nullarbor. You can do whatever it takes. One of the key things that you said that really sings out to me, it was a road trip recently where I'll admit, I wasn't so tired that it was dangerous, but I was tired to the point I was like, my road trip buddy was in their rest, so we kind of did overlap a little, or at least it was extenuating circumstances. And I was like, nah, we need to pull over. We had the puppy in the back seat, decided to exercise the pup. And before I knew it, I was getting carried away, running around with the bone, making it chase me, chasing it, doing fetch, all that kind of stuff. And before I knew it, my heart was racing. I was feeling fresh again. We did that at every town. So it was 1 hour between each town. Did that every town. And I tell you what, I was still really getting close towards the end, and the sun was down, so the kangaroos were out. But the really, really good advice, I think, one of the key things I can say, that it's better than an artificial high from a V drink or something like that I was chugging. It's getting out and getting your heartbeat up, because I definitely think that's a great tip, and that can lead into step 4 of you can make it. 2 people can go as far as they possibly can. I truly believe in it. That being said, disclaimer, just like with the sun cancer disclaimer, don't go too far. If you're drifting at all, get off, because I've had micro sleeps in the car, and it was lucky that nothing bad happened. I've had 1 micro sleep, and it scared the fear of God into me, and I'll never do it again. And I'll make sure that if you're listening and you're really tired, pull that thing over. It's not worth it. Just sleep for a few minutes, 20 minutes, 100%. Do something.
I've got this real toxic trait of always going out the night before I go somewhere. And just before I go up to Sydney, actually on the way back from Sydney as well, I went out the night before and then just wake up, and then I just got in the car and I drove down. And actually, we haven't got this in any one of the steps, but make sure you got a car that works, because I drove my car back from Sydney. This is yesterday, and so
this is it. This is a new step 5. We're doing 6 steps today. Right. Step 5. Sweet. Make sure your car works.
Definitely. I'm going up hills. The cruise control would just shut off, and then it would just the transmission wouldn't swap gears properly. So I'm in the truck lane with the trucks going about 60 up these hills.
No.
And I was like, fuck, there's no way I'm going to make it all the way back to Melbourne. And this is 2 hours in. I was like, God damn it. And it flattens out after Canberra. So once I got there, I was a little bit more relaxed. And I made it all the way back until 300 meters down the road from my house. And as I was pulling in to a red light, my car just went crack. And I don't know. Whoa. I still don't know what it is. I haven't turned it on since. I'm scared. And I don't know if it was a transmission that went, or it sounded kind of like a fan belt snapping, but I don't know if you can drive it after that. And it was just clunk, clunk. Oh, it was so loud, and I just pulled over, and I could only go about 40 up the last 200 meters, and then down into my car park, which is super echoey as well. So it would just I still have nightmares about the sound. And the fact that it made it to 250 meters away from home, I'm just gobsmacked. I'm so relieved. I don't even care. There's probably never going to be able to fix it. Respect to the car.
And if you're living out west, or you're living somewhere rural and there's kangaroos and emus and all kinds of stuff out and about, cows even, you want to make sure that your car has a bull bar or it's strong, because they are so dangerous, and everyone knows with kangaroos, they will just catch you out. They will jump across, they'll come out of nowhere, they will try and int in front of your car. It's crazy. And if you're unlucky and your windshield is low to the ground, they'll come straight over the bonnet, in through the glass, and then you've got this massive, potentially, kangaroo freaking out, kicking, and all kinds of stuff. And they've got claws. Yeah. It's a really grisly situation that can happen.
Have you been in a car?
No, I've been in a car. I've been in a car that's hit a roo, and it totaled my mate's BMW.
Oh, I was in my mate's car and it totaled his Ford Falcon.
Oh, damn.
After we played footy, got done by 120 points, and I'm driving back. Kangaroo writes off his car. We just get picked up, hitchhike the way to the next town, and just go straight to the pub. And just got blind and just figured life out after that.
That's so good. Yeah, no, that's the other tip about cars. Now, step 6, unbelievable. This is uncharted territory, and we are cracking this out in episode 14.
Yeah. We've given a lot
before the season finale.
Practical advice too.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is one close to your heart, Dos. I'll let you drop this one.
Oh, don't be afraid of a spontaneous trip. There's nothing better than just being... I say this drunk like I'm not an alcoholic, but I make a lot of my best decisions when I'm drunk. And even...
have been talking about drinking a fair bit. I'm a little bit worried. A few red flags, but keep going.
Yeah, that's the story of my dating life. And so, like the other week, I just had a few beers and I was like, stuff it. And I was just like, I'm going to drive to Sydney. And I just drove to Sydney. And then when I got to Sydney, went and had a couple of beers again. And then I was like, stuff driving all the way up to Byron Bay. I'm just going to catch a flight for like $70. So I booked the flight 2 hours before I got on the flight. And mind you, that was the flight I nearly died on. But
that's sick. Oh, true. Yeah, you might have like accidentally walked into a really nasty one there.
That was God just being like, hey, dude, come on, man.
Check yourself.
I'm gonna check you one of these days. But you're right. You're right for now. So yeah, spontaneity. It's the king of a good trip. Even if you're just doing a road trip, like, you know, being like, oh, let's go to this place 4 hours away, you know, on a Sunday, just stuff it, just do it. Like, no bad decisions come from it.
Well, that's a great little tip to end on. That's the Rogue Guide to Road Trips. Some good advice in there, some life-saving advice, actually. It feels like it's a fun topic, but, you know, what can go wrong? Cars are dangerous. I think more likely to die in a car than on a plane that can't land, as you've been in.
Yeah, well, our sponsors actually mentioned to me the other day, they're like, can you give one episode with some serious advice that might save lives?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I can do it. Live a spontaneous life.
Stick around for who that sponsor is later on in the episode. We've got our first sponsor. It's quite exciting. We should have mentioned this right at the start, but anyway, you'll hear it now. Now, speaking of sponsors, this is not a real segue because there's nothing I can do with that segue for our big caller, Dos.
Hell yeah. We got a big caller on today, and is one of our friends, one of your Strava friends that you were harassed at a New Year's party.
Very quick onto the Strava follow she was. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. And we have our favourite guest, avid listener, Clara.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Look, always a pleasure to have a Strava follower on the show. Someone that is, you know, I admire your work. I think you're an avid Stravaer. Follow me on Strava, Daniel Prosser, and you follow Clara Rieger as well.
Hey, that's a double.
Hayden Slater,
that's a double self-proclaim.
It's also Prosser. Just to let you know, it's actually Rieger. Like, it's Clara Rieger. It's really difficult.
Oh my gosh! So we always said this whole time. Dos was like, oh, you know, I always get it wrong, Clara or Clara.
First name.
And I've gone. And I've been like, oh, the hard part's done. Now it's just getting the last name. That's easy.
That's fucking ballsy, man. Go for the last name.
Damn.
Really
what's
stitched
your
up there.
Instagram handle? Are you going to throw that at us as well?
Just my straight up name,
Dan
Clara
fucking
Rieger.
shoves it down his throat.
Yeah, follow me. Just
well,
the name.
tell us how you met your two beloved podcast hosts.
It was actually... Shout out to episode 5, Emily. She brought me along to Hayden's New Year party, and I just kind of tagged along, didn't know anyone. And is that
in Korean? Was that the Korean one?
And if I remember correctly,
really,
I actually got a lift from the airport with Hayden. So he does collect people from the airport. Just not Juzzy.
Everybody except for Juzzy.
He is actually as much strife as he gets for it. He is a massive collector of people from airports.
I picked up 6 people on that trip, and I knew 2 of them. I was like, it was so funny being at the airport. I was like, I don't know who's who. Like, I don't know who's gonna get in my car.
Just accept them.
There were some fun-sized people in that pickup. Was everyone in the seats properly? Dos, did everyone fit in that car?
Mate, surely by listening to this episode, everybody knows we do road trips by the legal routes.
True. Let's go with that.
We're fucking throwing ourselves under the bus enough.
This is like we've got shout out Zach, our police officer friend. If he's listening to this one, then he's got a few easy gets on this. Oh, no, he's QPS, so I'm the only one in his jurisdiction.
Yeah, I'm safe.
But I'll take you down with me. I'll snitch for a good sentence. All right, and Clara, you and I met, as we mentioned, on Strava. Well, we met at the Koran New Year's Eve
Closely followed by
really
Strava.
Bonded on Strava.
That's right.
Very closely followed. In fact, probably I'd probably sent out the invite before we'd even actually properly met. Now, let's talk here about the big call. A big call that you've made sometime in your life where you've reached a critical moment. You'll talk us up to that point. Dos and I will jump in with what we would have done, and then you'll tell us what you did. What is your big call?
Okay, so you'll be happy to hear this happened in Australia, not on holidays.
What? That's so off-brand.
Wait. Are you above 20 years old at the time of the story?
Yeah, I was. It was last year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
Thank you.
Are you in the 99% or the 1%?
Oh, I'm absolutely in the 99%.
Hell yeah. 3 for 3.
All right, let's
Saving our best cars
Take it
for
away.
So
last.
as we know, being in the 99%, I've got a shit car, right? It's an old 1997 Toyota Corolla. It was my auntie's and now it's mine. You know, it's still going strong though. It's the same age as me.
Oh, nice.
So I was driving home from work. This was last year. And there's like just before my... Yeah, exactly. 2020. What a good time.
Great year.
So there's this like train line just before my house, or like a few streets before, and I have to turn right directly after the train line. Anyway, so I'm driving home in this like 997 Toyota Corolla, and I normally turn right sometimes into that street, or sometimes I go to the next one, but I was thinking about actually just going straight through. But then the person in front of me puts the indicator on really late, so then they're turning right, so I'm kind of stuck behind them. And I was like, oh, it's okay, I'll just like wait.
Oofed.
Yeah, a bit of a stitch up, but that's fine. And then I look and I notice them on the train tracks, and I was like,
no,
probably not ideal. No. And my brain's just thinking back to like 4 or 5 years ago, the train station next from mine. There were these 2 old women in their like 70s that got stuck on the train line, and the train came through and actually cleaned them up.
Oh.
Yeah, and they got killed. Like they got stuck between the platform and their car. Like horrific. So that's what my mind's thinking of. And I'm like, this isn't really ideal. I don't really want to be in this situation.
No, probably
not. They're getting rid of the level crossings, but it's not happening soon enough. Like I'm on one at the moment. So I decide, you know what? I'll just go around this car. I won't wait here. But there's like heaps and heaps of traffic going around me and I can't. So I just have to wait. I'm like, it's all good. I'll just wait. And the traffic like clears up. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go around him now. So because he stopped so quickly, I was quite close to him. So I need to reverse back. So I'm like, all right, I'll just reverse back a little bit. And then I go to put it in first. And I don't know why. I've been driving for a while. But all of a sudden, I go to put it in first and I stall. I'm like,
oh no.
It's all good. I'll just turn it back on.
It's not all good. You're panicking right now. I'm panicking.
That's all right. Nothing's wrong.
It's all good.
Okay.
It's sweet. I go to turn the car on. It doesn't start. Like, great. This isn't happening to me. Like, what is going on? And then I'm like, you know what? I'll try once. I'll try again. Doesn't start. And then all of a sudden I start to hear ding, 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 ding. And the boom gates are coming down. Someone behind me toots me, being like, get off the tracks. Anyway, so what would you do?
What? That's crazy.
I'll tell you what I'm not doing like they do in every movie in the world.
Yeah.
For some reason they panic and then they can't get their seatbelt off.
No.
Just get your fucking seatbelt off and then you can figure things out. That's first and foremost.
Strat.
Yeah. I would say seatbelt off.
Yeah.
And as much as I usually like to try face problems, head first.
You'd run straight down the train tracks towards the train. Come on, then.
What are you doing up my track?
Show me them paws. Put them paws up.
Put them paws up, rail. No, I'm out of there. I'm leaving the car.
Ditching
1997. That's dead. I've said this
Rest
a couple
in
times
peace.
with a few car stories, but yeah, leave the car. It's had enough. Had a good run. Cars are replaceable.
Yeah, I've had four 4 cars, and 3 of them were written off, which is a pretty
wow.
good streak, I would say. So what's another car to write off? That being said, the car is straight up like not starting. You're like going,
it's like punching, but then nothing's happening. It's not. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gone. I'm freaking gone. I'm gone, but I'm getting my camera out and I'm filming what happens.
Yeah, fair. I like that. Get some, yeah, because otherwise you need a new car, so you might as well get a story out of it.
Yeah,
get on the
exactly.
news.
Sell it to the news.
Coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, sell it to everyone that will freaking listen. Get a hold of TikTok. Let them know that you got a good little vid. In a few podcasts will probably take you on as a guest as well.
Definitely.
About the story. There's a bit of extra coin. Obviously,
Clara,
we're a free agency, but other podcasts might pay a bit of coin.
Claire, if you manage to do something different to what we've suggested, then you've got balls of steel.
Thank you.
What did you do when you had to make that big call?
Well, I was thinking to myself, look, I'll give it one more go, and if it's not starting, I'm just going to, bolt it and leave the car. So I try again, and thankfully it starts. And then I just speed off the tracks. I see the boom gates, finally they're shut behind me, and then the train comes past. And I had to turn right on the next street, and my foot was just shaking on the clutch. It was a bad time.
I love that. How fun is it trying to drive a manual after you've been in an adrenaline pumping situation? Your legs are just not working. Yeah.
Do you have any leftover PTSD from that? Because do you struggle to cross tracks?
Absolutely.
Now?
I won't turn right at that street now. I refuse.
Wow. That is traumatic. That is crazy, Clara, for real. Oh, man, that is insane.
I'm a little bit shaken just thinking about it, if I'm not going to lie.
Wow. Thanks for revisiting that for us for content.
No worries. Yeah. And I still have the card, it's still going strong. Got the battery replaced.
Wow. The true 99% was this car's probably only worth $200, but that's $200 I don't
exactly.
have. I just get this off tracks.
Yeah. It's still good. It won't let me down.
We've been through that together. What else can we go through?
Yeah. Well, Clara, thank you so much for joining us with that absolutely, bloody heart-pounding big call. It's a great way to end season 1. Next week we've got the awards show, which you might be a part of for Best Big Call. But anyway, thanks so much for joining us and sharing that story, and hopefully you can sleep tonight.
Thank you very much. I hope season 2 goes well. I'll be ready to listen.
Holy smokes, that was a goated bloody big call. That was a big finish. And I got to say, some of the guests we've got earmarked for season 2, I reckon it even can only get better. That's a big call, but I
think that was the first real kind of final destination kind of story.
Yeah,
that we had. Could have went either way, and I was very.
And then what like you said, so maybe she does abandon the car, but the seatbelt's still stuck, or maybe the door is jammed or something. Anything could happen.
Yeah, there's a reason why they actually get stuck. It's because, like I was saying, with the adrenaline pumping, and you struggle to hit the accelerator, you're real shaky. So when you're pulling the seatbelt, you're pulling it too fast, and it's the same thing as a car accident, so that's why it locks. So there's actually kind of a reason to it. So there you go.
Nah. It could be because I've got the aircon off, because I'm not allowed to have my aircon on when we do this, but I'm sweating just hearing that experience. Dos, this is a big...
To be fair, man, I'm sweating as well, but I just kind of sweat when I talk to girls because I get nervous.
Especially girls like Clara that tick all 3 boxes that we look for. Recent stories, local
over
stories,
20.
and also 99%ers. Actually, no, that we prefer our girls in the 1%, don't we?
Yeah. We need the girls in the 1%.
Yeah.
We're in the
99%.
I want to be that stay-at-home dad.
But actually, we will be in the 1% soon, because for the first time ever, Dos, we have an unofficial sponsor, someone that has come on and is throwing their brand behind the pod, behind the Road Guide. Tell me about it. I haven't seen the emails.
Well, like most things, this is a self. What would you call it? Well, we'll set up a
self promotion.
Yeah, it's a bit of a self promotion. A GoFundMe page would be required to get this app on the market. Me and my mate Scott, shout out to episode whatever.
Damn, Scott's getting a good run this episode.
He's getting a good run. He's gonna fucking love it too. We were drunk in Sydney. I think what was it? We were at our first bar and we're just it's still early, so you're just kind of casual drinking and talking. And we're just talking about like wingmanning, and obviously it comes up on this podcast a fair bit. So we're like,
because I hate it.
Yeah, you hate it, and it's fair enough because there's so many shit wingmen out there. But what if you had a way to access good wingman consistently?
What? No, that's impossible. It can't happen. There's no way it could happen. Could it?
Oh, but it can. Oh, but it can. So you have.
You got to tell me more.
Yeah, you have an app. It's set up a bit like Uber. All right, so you have like lists of wingman, and their location is in like comes up of which bars they're at, and which bar they're at. They say what clothes they're wearing, obviously their name, and then they highlight their strengths. So like good wingman for like dance clubs, and like wingman for setting you up with sporty girls or something like that.
Whoa.
And, or sporty guys, or just like, good at like introducing you to a big group of people and getting you in like that way. And then people rate star-wise. So
wow.
Yeah, so obviously you can accept and you can deny if you're the wingman. If you're like, nah, this guy's got no chance with this person, I'm going to deny this request. And then, so you can't be unrealistic. And then there's the other side of things where you're like, I don't know if this guy actually looks like a wingman or if he's just going to take my money. So yeah, and then you rate the experience afterwards. So yeah, that's my suggestion as a wingman app.
Well, yeah, I honestly think that sounds brilliant, and I feel like you've given some gold out to all of the entrepreneurial Silicon Valley types that listen to the pod that probably have the means to make this happen. Yeah. We've got Scott potentially as an early investor on this, being someone with more money than sense, and he can 2%. Yeah. So he can bankroll it. We just need someone with the skills. Darcy maybe gets on and makes this app happen, because I reckon that sounds like a great idea, and at the very least, it's almost like a bro matchmaking app, because or a girl, a sister. I don't know what you'd call what girls call each other. But bro app. Because you could just might go out there trying to hook up or whatever with your wingman, but you end up actually having a good night with them regardless.
Yeah. See, I'm a bit against that. I think you should keep a clear gap between professionalism,
business,
and friends.
You're right. You probably have this like really pure good. Like this could be my best friend ever, but it's like we didn't score, mate. I'm sorry, you failed. It's a 1 star.
Yeah, I'm giving you 1 star, bro. I'm sorry, man. And then all of a sudden your heart's broken. You just got to be able to control that relationship better.
Yeah. Thank you so much to the Wingman app. Is it called Wingman?
Well, so it's not trademarked just yet, but if it pops up in the next couple of months, I'll be pretty ropeable.
That's it. That's the working name. That's the working name.
Working name is the Wingman.
Dos, we've been talking about episode 14 of season 1 a fair bit this episode, because it's a big episode. It's the last normal form episode of the season. 15 episode seasons, as everyone I'm sure is very well aware. Next week, we're hoping to bring to you a pretty blockbuster episode where it'll be talking about some of the golden moments of the year, some of the highlights. It's an awards show. People who performed, people who bombed, best stories, best references, all that kind of stuff. So a bit of planning and thinking will be involved. But a big episode nonetheless, episode 14, and I feel like we're going out strong.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good run at things, I think, for a first time having a dip with the odd kind of late show. But at the same time, people, like, this is art we're making. Like, this isn't something that can be structured. When it flows, it flows. We're artists, so don't rush art.
Yes. No, you can't do that, and don't do that. You wouldn't want to do that. But if you do have any thoughts, any big calls, any sponsor ideas, perhaps unofficial sponsors for the show, you know where to find us on the Road Guide. DM us there. Hopefully we'll get some episodes in a picture chugging through. They're always good for a laugh. Dos, that's the end of episode 14. Before next week, the big awards show.
Oof. Hell yeah. And also, if you're on the podcast app, give us 5 stars and leave a comment telling us how much you love us. And then Spotify, give us a follow. Spotify doesn't let you do anything else. So you get the free podcast app that comes with your iPhone. I swear to God, people, I want to see some comments. I want to see some likes. I want to see some damn stars like my Wingman app.
True, exactly. And Dos, I can't think of a good way to finish this episode, so how about a big fake laugh that I can turn the music up with on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.